for joining us tonight. This is the 39th talk that I've held just over a year ago. And for those of you that are newer to it, I'm seeing new faces and I'm so happy you joined. So thank you guys for joining. This platform is really relaxed. I want you to make yourself at home, grab a cup of tea, a glass of wine. If you want to go and have something to eat while you're listening, feel free. I created this just over, and it's all about just having inspiring stories. Stories that not only are inspiring, but stories that go beyond you, and where your story is bigger than you. You happen to be the vessel. And this one tonight, Siviwe, I'm so excited about it. And thanks to Laura for introducing me to you. I think your story is phenomenal, and it's about bringing community together, which you've managed in the most graceful, magnificent way, going through adversity and turning it into something really phenomenal. So thank you for joining, Safiwe, and I'm so happy that you've joined us tonight in my kitchen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elaine. It's a pleasure to be with you all in this very moment. And I look forward to sharing with you and to this chat.
So whenever you want to get started, the kitchen is yours.
Okay. Are you all having something in your hand? Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. I think I will start. Yeah. Greetings, everyone. My name is Siviwe Dlukwana. I was born in Crossroads. It's one of Cape Town's oldest townships, next to the Cape Town International Airport. Now I'm living in Muizenberg, and I'm a full-time student at the University of Cape Town. I'm doing my social sciences degree and major in social development. And I've decided to go back to school after many years of working in the community because I now want to get more academic knowledge so that I can take what I am doing to the next level. And one of my other majors is African music. And I have love for music. I think music brings peace to my soul. And I also plan to use it as one of the tools to bring about change in our community and to raise about the issues that we face. And, music is more than music. It's a powerful tool that gets people together. So at UCT, I'm having a wonderful time getting more knowledge to develop our communities socially. And on the other side, learning more about African instruments. Yeah, so my journey with the Ikamva Labantwana organization started in 2012. But before that, when I grew up in Crossroads, it's known for its dangerous crimes. And it's within Nyanga Township. And Nyanga Township, every year, when the Minister of Police release the crime stats in South Africa, we are always number one when it comes to crime. So I grew up in such a community, and we've been ranking number one for years. Nothing is changing. In 2003, I lost a brother uh, by the name Julian. He was 5 years older than me and was doing his grade 11 and about to start his matric. We grew up in a Christian family. And, when we grow up, we get involved in many different activities because of the influence of township. So my brother was caught up in that. And December the 16th of 2003, he was out with his friends. And I think it's still the culture, December the 16th in township, you get young people on the streets doing drinking and partying and stuff like that, underage. So now, during that day, he got involved in a quarrel after he had confronted another guy who robbed his girlfriend, her jewelries. So the fight ended up in a bad way. He was stabbed by that guy and he passed away. So there was another lady who came. He was on his way home when he got stabbed, but he couldn't arrive. He died before he arrived, before he got home. So we were called into the scene. I was the first one to get there. And when I got there, he was lying. There was blood on his body and an open wound next to his chest. And he was not responding. Another lady who stays next to where the crime scene was at said, no, he was just talking. And she also suspects that he is no more. The elders came, they looked at him and said, yes, your brother has passed away. It was a very painful experience. So what happened after that, the police came into the scene and it was now declared a crime scene. And there were different people who were at the scene. The police did their interrogation and I think he was on the scene for 4 to 5 hours, lying there dead, covered with the plastic. And the forensic police came and fetched the body and took him to the mortuary. When I got back at home, it was a complete different atmosphere. My mother was crying hopelessly, shocked, and it was unbelievable because I had spent that most of that day with him. And even when he took his bath, going out, he always went out and he would always come back, but not on that day. So we had people from the neighbors came to comfort us. The leaders of the church were also visited us on the very same night to send their condolences. And we had to prepare for his funeral. My mother couldn't cope with it. And on that very same day, when she came back, my mother shared that she was in Kailicha and a person was shot in front of her on that evening, not knowing that at night, the very same evening, she would be losing her child. So 2 traumatic experiences that she experienced on that night. So I said to her, just to make her stronger, that, Mama, don't cry. Whatever my brother was going to do for you, I'm here. I'll take care of you. Don't you what? Because, the following year he was about to do his matric and he was academically gifted. That's one thing about him. So He had a bright future ahead of him, but because of where we grow up, we had lost him. So we prepared for his funeral. Everything went well. It was difficult to even bury him because, you know, in our culture, our parents don't insure little children in funeral policies because it's unlikely that the child will die. So our family had to come up with different strategies, you know, to deal with this matter. But we laid him to rest in Cape Town at the NY5 cemetery in Kukuletu. We received overwhelming support. After he had passed away, on the 17th of December, his friends went to look out for this guy. He was not staying far from us. Crossroads is divided in three sections. There is private properties, there's also RDP houses and informal settlements. So he was staying on the other side of Crossroads, called Unati. So when they got to that guy's home who killed my brother, he was having breakfast. When they got there, they shot him, passed away in front of his family. And when my father and his cousins went to report about what has happened the previous night, about this issue to that guy's family, the family said, we have the same problem as you. This guy was killed. This morning, we suspect it's the friends of your late son. So now, my brother was part of the gang as well, but he was in the early stages. So I decided, I saw the loss and the pain that it had created in my family. I decided that I don't want to get involved in those kind of situations. And the only way I can step out of that is by choosing the right friends and by making good choices and by getting a good education. So I was still doing grade 5 that year. In 2004, I went on to study my grade 6, and I was looking for schools, trying to escape the township experience, you know, schools outside of Crossroads. But the only schools my family could afford were schools in Athlone, which is a colored community just outside of Crossroads. I just wanted something, you know, outside of Crossroads. But I was not successful with that. I completed my primary school at Kringa in Crossroads. And I decided that in high school, when I get to high school, I must be out of Crossroads. That's the only way I can save my soul now. Fortunately, my father was very supportive. He assisted me with my high school application, and we even went further than Athlone I was looking for schools in town, in Woodstock, and those schools were not charging high fees. So my parents could afford paying for me there, but they would just need to make sure that I have my weekly bus ticket. So fortunately, I was accepted at Woma High School. So when I got to Woma High School, it's in Woodstock, but the school also caters for kids who come from similar backgrounds as me, you know. And what I quickly discovered at Woma is that the behavior of the learners who were studying at Woma High School at that time was very similar to what I was running away from, but just that different locations. And the level of learning and teaching was not really what I had expected. So again, I was in the lookout for better educational opportunities. And I knew that, education was the only way out throughout these difficulties. So I heard about Lip Science and Med School, which is a maths and science focused school, a non-profit school that caters for kids from similar backgrounds as me who come from disadvantaged homes. I applied. Their school admission policy, you have to go on a camp, you have to be assessed academically on your skills, your comprehension, your science skills, your mathematics skills. So I took these tests and I did well. I was then invited into a leadership camp. In the leadership camp, I think they were looking at the person's behavior and attitude. We were out in Franshoek, far, far away from what I was used to. I had a wonderful time in that camp and connected with other students from township. And I think in that camp, I realized that, there's many young people from township who are looking for opportunities, for those kind of opportunities. And all of us, we wanted to get to live, but the fact of the matter, not all of us would be accepted there. So after the camp, I got a message from my mother that I was invited in their interview. So I attended the interview and I was told that I had made it. So I was very, very happy. When I got to LEAP, it was just all of us, all Black students, and the teachers were white, and all the teachers come from educational backgrounds or from schools that are well-resourced, very well-trained teachers, and they were giving their best efforts and had high expectations from all of their students. So being in that school, I felt that I got to where I wanted to be. And I felt very supported, very cared for. They didn't just provide us with good education in maths and science, but they also focused on building us up as leaders and to care for our communities. So when I got into matric, we also got another opportunity. We were given an opportunity because I think the school leadership knew the kind of context we were living in and decided that they should take us out of our homes in October to prepare for our final year exams. And they took us out and paid for accommodation for all the boys. And we stayed in Pinelands. So when we stayed in Pinelands, we had no one disturbing us. We had no friends coming over. It was just us and our books. And we were supporting each other. And the school was taking care of us. So that also contributed to my success. When I was writing my final year exam, I never panicked because I felt that I was resourceful and well prepared. So I sat for my exams, wrote my exams, and did well, and passed with full exemption. So when I passed, I decided to become a teacher and to provide other kids from my community with good education. So in 2010, I enrolled to become a teacher. at UWC and started there. In 2012, 3 years down the line, I had this vision and I couldn't wait no more. I reached out to one of my primary schools in Crossroads and said to the principal, I'm now doing teaching. I'm going to become a maths and language teacher. So I want to volunteer my time in your school by assisting your grade 8 students every Saturday in their mathematics. I'm looking for about 10 to 15 learners because where I come from at LEAP, we didn't have large classes. You know, for all my life, I was in classroom with 35 to 40 students. And when I got to LEAP, we were 15 in a class. So I knew the impact of that. So I had the same approach. But when, when, when the first session happened, there was about 35 students in my grade 8 class. And I decided, you know, I will work with them. I won't chase anyone away. And the numbers just kept on growing every Saturday. And I got to a point where I was like, no, I can't handle this alone now. So I invited friends from university, from UWC and locally to come and assist me every Saturday with the grade 8 class. At that time, it was just an outreach. There was no name. We were just showing up and helping the community. So after about 5 months running the project, I approached LEAP and said, I have a group of good students that I want you to consider for next year. And they said, Siviwe, you know our application processes, you can assist them to apply. So one Saturday, I informed all the learners about this opportunity. And there was about 40 of them. So they all showed an interest and applied. And they had to go to the same procedure, to the LEAP recruitment processes. So from that group, 10 of them were selected and awarded scholarships to study at LEAP. So that for me was like a big shock, surprising. I felt very happy for them because I knew that where they are going, they would be supported and nothing will stop them. And I knew for a fact that if they would continue going into township schools, they won't be as successful as they would be, you know, if they went the other way. Because the people I grew up with who did not get these opportunities that I got ended up dropping out of school, didn't finish their matric, didn't even further their studies. So I was happy for them, and it encouraged me now to repeat it again. So now there was after those students were successful, the following year, there were other teachers from other grades, from lower grades, who said, why don't you support our learners? You know, we can see the results from your input, from your program. So now I thought that maybe we should form up something. I approached friends, shared the dream, shared the idea, and we decided, okay, you know, we should give this a name. And we called it Ikamva Labantwana Bethu. It's a Xhosa name that means the future of our children. Because what we were doing for the children of our community so that they can have a brighter future. So that's where the name comes from. So we registered it. We invited other kids. We had volunteers from UWC, volunteers from UCT, CPUT, who were coming every Saturdays to assist us. So the program was really working well, but we got into problems at my previous school at Ikamva Primary School with challenges in accessing classrooms now on Saturdays. I think, some teachers didn't like what we were doing, township politics and school politics. And that didn't discourage us because we were seeing. And one of the things that I learned from LEAP is resilience. That I've learned from my brother's loss is resilience. And to never give up is for anything that has a social impact. So we decided that if our venue, we are not catered well, because sometimes we would sit outside, you know, classrooms are locked, the security is instructed not to open classrooms for us. It was disappointing at times, and other volunteers who would come felt like we were playing with their time. We would call them, and the next thing, the classrooms are locked. So we discussed these issues and said, okay, how about we look for another school? But there's two high schools and we're looking for a central venue. So we thought we should approach Nelson Mandela High School, which is a high school in Crossroad. But I wasn't sure whether Nelson Mandela High School would cater for us because our program was not working with high school learners, was focusing on primary school learners. So I approached the principal. The principal, after my presentation, I raised that sir, I know, your students want benefit here, but we're looking for space. He said, the doors of education shall be open because what you are doing serves the community, and these are community schools. So we will open our doors for you. Tell us when you need the classrooms. And we can even give you an office space. I was like, yeah, office space? Yes, we need an office. So they opened their doors, and we moved our program from Gringa to the new venue, to Nelson Mandela High School. And so when we went there, we didn't encounter those issues of classrooms being locked out and stuff like that. They were very flexible. They also believed in the vision of our organization. They supported us by giving us an office space and also opened up their kitchen. So we approached the Lunchbox Fund. We made our research. We were looking for people who would support us. And there was an education project called the Learning Trust in Muizenberg that was supporting small grant education project. So they connected us with other funders, and the Lunchbox Fund said, we will support you by giving you groceries so that you can cook every day for your children. And that was like a huge gift to us. And it helped us to increase the number of kids attending the program. And as you may know, that some of the kids we work with come from homes where, evening meals are not guaranteed. So having a meal in the after school program was filling up many gaps, and it helped us to grow. So now the program was a Saturday program, but with the support of organizations like the Lunchbox Fund, we increased the number of days of our support. So from Saturdays to 3 days. Now, after about 3 years, we were introduced to another family in America, in San Francisco, and they also believed in the vision. They decided to support us. And the following year, the second year, they sent one of their staff members to come and work alongside me now to build the organization, because I was just a dreamer, passionate, you know. So they decided that we need to put someone next to Siviwe who would give him the business skills so that he can run this organization and take it to the next level. So having her work with me, we we grew the organization and also increased the number of days to a full-time program. So now meaning that kids were coming every day after school, including Saturdays. And during their holidays, we ran holiday programs. And the organization just kept on growing and growing and growing. So in 2016, I heard that the Crossroads Library was relocating to new premises. And I was searching around about what was going to happen with their building that they were occupying. They were relocating to a safer community because they were getting robbed in that place. So it was interesting to me. I said, okay, how about we engage the local government and make a proposal that we are a community-based organization that works in this community, and instead of, letting this building to be destroyed further, we have a solution and we want to bring our program and use that space and grow even further. So when I went to the city of Cape Town, with local government, there's large chains. You can't get to the real people who manage these list applications. So I think with my experience, I decided I should approach the director of library and information services at the local government level. And she kindly responded to my email and advised me of the steps I needed to take. So I did that. I applied, we motivated. It was a very lengthy process, but at the end, it was approved. So now we were then moving into a new space. Now, the old Crossroads Library building is situated just in the middle of Crossroads. It's a very central venue. But when we got there, it was an open plan building. The city just gave us a lease, but no funds to turn it around to make it what we want it to be. So again, we set out different proposals. We were in touch with architects to help us put our plans in paper, design plans, get approval. We fundraised, and we were successful with our fundraising. So we then turned around that center into a learning center and partitioned the space. We have about 5 classrooms there. And we moved our program to that space. So after that, uh, it's been growing and growing. So what we offer to the children is education support. We work with grade 4 to 7 learners. And we focus on their math, science, and English. And they enter the program when they are 9 or 10 years old until they reach grade 7, until they are about 13 years. And we place them in our high-performing schools around Cape Town. So over the years, we've increased the number of our partner high schools. It's not only the Lip Science and Math School. We also partner with Claremont High, Cape Academy of Maths and Science School, COSET, and other schools. So we have an annual target of placing all of our grade 7 learners in our partnering high schools. And we have 100% target. And we have been reaching it over the years. And we also provide them with holiday programs, and we are minimizing their times on the street. That's why we have the holiday program. We also have parents' workshops and meetings, dialogues with their parents, and get people to assist us to provide parents with parenting skills. And when we got into the space, we realized that, you know, we could use the space to bring more changes into the community. And we were working quietly and alone from about 9 until 2 p.m. And we realized that, you know, we can't keep up with too much silence. We have to come up with morning programs, you know. And we approached, I was in a provincial cabinet meeting. There was Premier of the Western Cape at that time. It was Elaine Seidel and her cabinet. They were in Tafelsag and Mitchell's Plain, engaging with the community. So I approached the MEC of Social Development and said, "Hi, sir, I'm Siviwe. I'm working with this organization. This is what we do. And I would like to partner with you so that we can bring the Youth Cafe program in the Crossroads community so that youth from Crossroads can be assisted and be provided with more training opportunities so they can break out from the cycle of crime, violence, and unemployment." And he said, "Okay, sure, let's engage further. Here are my details. Please send me a message." And I did that. You know, when politicians talk, can't trust them. But it was not the case with him. When I dropped the email, he responded and confirmed that we can meet. Now I had to prepare for a meeting with an MEC. And, you know, it was a high level meeting. I had never done something like that before. But I think one of the skills that is to always feel resourceful. You know, I was like, I will do this meeting. And I went there. So when I went there, I presented and they asked us to submit a formal proposal, and the proposal was approved, and they gave us funding to start up a youth cafe. So their funding then assisted us to buy more furniture for the center, you know, to take the renovations to the next level, to even build a kitchen outside, you know, for the project. And so now what we do with the youth is we provide them with skills training and help them to be, and provide them with employment readiness programs. So the program started in 2019. And the graduates of the programs are getting employment, and some of them are furthering their studies. And for me, I've been, you know, very happy to see our community transforming. And the organization has inspired me to take this work to the next level. And the next level for us is to repeat this success in other areas that go through the same challenges that we go through at Crossroads. And so last year, in 2019, we opened another after-school branch in Nyanga Township at Klengisa Primary School. It's fully registered with the Department of Social Government, and we're getting partial funding from the state. And we want to grow our after-school program in the top police precinct areas that experience high levels of crime and violence in Cape Town. And now we are busy with the registration of 2 after-school centers. One will be in Guguletu and another one in Samora Machel Primary School. And we want to give children from those areas the same educational programs that we provide to kids in Crossroads and Nyanga, and to also help them get access to our partner high schools, to the network of our schools. This year, we've had our first graduate who went through the program. The 10 students who were selected by LEAP when we first started. One of them graduated recently at the University of the Western Cape with his Bachelor of Commerce degree. And this is the success that we want to recreate in all the township and address this ongoing issue of lack of opportunity, crime and violence in our township. Many of our partners are from the state. We are mainly supported by government, and their funding keeps us going all the time. And now we are on a mission of growing our fundraising platform and open up for private donations. We are busy with our website, and we have an old website, but we are currently revamping it. And the live website, I think Elaine has the link, the upcoming website of that website, and it will be launched by end of July. So we want to, there is so much potential in township. There's many talented young people, but that talent is lost somewhere because of the issues we face. And our mission is to bring it to the ground and help children and youth to have access to better opportunities and exit the world of gangs and violence, and to help them make the transition first in their minds and show them the right path. And I've decided to go back to school because I dropped out of university to focus on Ikamva. But now the organization is at a stage where it can now function without me. I have the support of a management team, and I hope that whatever I'll be learning at UCT, I will come back into the organization, plow back, and go far and wide. And I look forward to helping communities change and helping individuals to transform.
Thank you so much. That is just the most exquisite, inspiring story. Like people like you and what you do inspire me. This is why I created this platform. I mean, Siviwe for president, I'm thinking, really. Thank you so, so much. I mean, I've just loved, I love that, like you really went into your story and I could hear all the details now. And it's just mind blowing. I mean, if everybody could just take a step back from their situation and have a look at the greater good and what is possible, it's beautiful. So I don't know how you feel about maybe opening up and asking questions. Anyone who wants to ask questions, I know that you maybe you have some of your colleagues with you, friends. So please unmute yourself. And I mean, what an honor to have Siviwe with us. So please just unmute, and anyone who wants any comments, want to make any comments or questions. I'm going to just raise your hand or unmute yourself. Mike,
Yeah,
yes.
I think that was a fantastic story, and it was so well explained, and I could just picture the whole thing growing from this little seed and growing to what it is, and you having the ability to, like, all right, I want to get out of, there's I'm not learning what I want to learn here at Crossroads. I'm going to go to this other school. You go to other school and say, well, to have that ability to see, well, wait a minute, it's not so great over here either. Let me find another thing. And you kept looking and kept finding where you got an answer. And then to have it grow as much as it is now, I have to agree with Elaine in the sense that when you were looking for help with the local government, and I think you said the Library of Congress or large library person, whatever, helped you out with that you were having a difficulty with the local government trying to get your voice heard, that as it's grown and become what it is, almost that would seem like a natural foundation for you to become part of that local council that can make those government changes in your town, in your area, that you've grown so much and you're going back to university and studying some more. I can see you being the whatever it is, the leader of that town. I don't know what it is down there, and mayor, governor, whatever it is, you making the decisions, you helping everyone, so that they come to you for advice, and you I just think it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's all I had to say.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you for that. So nice hearing, just feedback. And Laura is going to share. Laura introduced me to Siviwe, so thank you so much.
Oh gosh, thank you, Siviwe. It was so lovely to to hear your story. I don't know, 20 years past the day we met back in Crossroads, and to see you as this grown man who's had his own journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment and transformation, and how you have injected all your life experience into helping others. And to do something like that, it doesn't just require a clever mind or a vision. It really requires an engaged heart, a compassionate heart, and that's a very special quality. And I actually wanted to ask you a question. If when I think about you and your story, and I go back all those years when you were in grade 6 in Crossroads Township, and fast forwarding to present time, I wanted to ask you, what do you think the qualities are that you have, because you're exposed to the same sort of hardships as your peers, and you were exposed to many challenges and the same sort of violence and crime around you. You had to deal with all those fears and the loss of your brother. You went through a lot. So what would you say were the qualities that you have that enabled you to do what you do in comparison to your peers that maybe would have, ended up in very different scenarios? How would you name those qualities, those specific qualities that you possess that have enabled you to act and do what you are doing?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Laura. I think one of the qualities I had was the vision, and I think I always wanted a better life. In grade one, you would be asked, what do you want to become when you're older? It's a vision. So despite what was happening, I think my vision stayed with me that, I am born here. And I know that my parents came from the Eastern Cape to search for greener pastures. I can't be born here and live all my life here. I also need to dream of a better future. What my parents were experiencing was something better than where they were coming from.
Mm.
So having a vision, and also most importantly, what another quality is, learning more about Christian values and, behaving good. And I was assisted by going to church all the time. All the times when I was in primary school, we didn't have after school programs. We had music practices at my church. So the time I was spending in church, I was not on the streets all the time. So the issue of time and how you spend it is also one of the qualities that I think I had as compared to my peers, spending my time wisely
Mm. Mm.
and choosing spaces wisely,
Mm.
spaces which build up characters and inspirational spaces. So I was in those kind of spaces, and my parents were also good examples.
Mm.
And
Okay.
other kids come from different backgrounds.
Mm. Okay. I find it, as a teacher who's seen so many children and so many different students, and even working with adults, I'm always, I'm always mystified in one way, in one sense, about the people who move and step beyond their limitations and actually turn their lives around. And from what I've seen, there is no I think some of what I've seen is that there's no rational reasoning for it as well. Sometimes people are just called to do this sort of work, and there's no way you can actually say, like you can list these things. Sometimes it's just like an inner calling and some sort of connection. And yeah, so thank you very much for sharing. And I wish you all the best with what you're doing. It sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Is there anyone else that just wants to share something or have any comments about the talk, about being here? Those of you that are newer to the kitchen, don't feel shy. It's a really relaxed kind of space, and you're amongst friends. So, yes, Vanessa.
Yes, Siviwe, I just wanted to say you are such an inspiration. You really are a light worker on this planet Earth, and I'm sure that your brother is just smiling down with all the love for what you bring in the world. So I'm just so inspired by your story. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you.
I couldn't agree more, Vanessa. Absolutely. Okay, great. So that is is that your website that you've just put down, Siviwe?
Yes, this is the upcoming website. It's not the current one.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what you can do is also, if there's anything, maybe the link of the upcoming website, send it to me on the WhatsApp, because then I can forward it to everybody in the group. There's some people that did want to join that missed it. And then everybody that's on here tonight that I've invited is on the group. Any of you that are interested in this platform and interested in coming to share a story or just coming to listen each week, in a few weeks' time, in a month or two's time, Vanessa's actually coming. She's got a wonderful story as well. So what I'm going to do while I have you all is just quickly put down my cell phone number. Let me find a way of speaking to everybody. There we go. And I'm just going to put down my cell phone number. And those of you who would like to come and listen to more conversations, you know, I think it's a fallacy that we can multitask. I remember in India, my Indian teacher, Ayurvedic teacher, Dr. Vignesh, she goes, we can't really multitask. You just land up doing many things kind of poorly. So my concentration just went off as I was trying to talk, but I think I put my number down there. Anybody else? We still got some time. I just wanted to make sure if there's anybody that just wants to have any thoughts about this evening. Marlene, you're always here, and thank you. I know that you enjoyed it. You sent a lovely message to Siviwe. Daphne always comes, and I'm so grateful. So I hope that you and Carla enjoyed the evening. Irene has joined us all the way from Greece, which is amazing. So it's quite a really lovely platform where people come from all over. Michael's sitting in Ireland, Marlene's in Scotland, Laura and I know in Cape Town. Those of you guys that have joined, I can see they thank you guys. I know it's so nice to see new faces, and please keep on coming. So, you know, if you're not doing anything on Thursday evenings, every second Thursday, this is where you should tune in. So, Siviwe, please feel free to join my kitchen anytime. Any information you want to shower us with, anywhere where I can help, maybe sort of share this initiative that you're doing, your schooling. I really want to, my aim is just to support, and that we really create a community together, which is, what you're doing. So thank you so much for this evening. It was an absolute pleasure to hear your story, and honor to listen to the work that you're doing. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Elaine. Well, what I can say is that our doors in Crossroads are open. So anyone who wants to come and visit us there, you are more than welcome. We follow the safety protocols of COVID-19. Everything is in place. And yes, please spread the word about Ikamva. I will also give you or you can search us out. I can give you the website address name of the current website. But on the website, we are also launching a new income generating activity here, where we will be inviting, we normally get interns from abroad who come and spend time with us at Ikamva for 3 months, 6 months, or for a year period. So, please tell your friends who want to come down and volunteer in South Africa that an organization that works with children and youth, and we can give them internship opportunities. And we focus on nutrition, internships, marketing, in business, and other disciplines. But if you want more information, you can visit our website and spread the word about our internship recruitment for international volunteers.
Wonderful. Laura, before you go.
Sorry, just had one question. Do any of your programs involve anything like mindfulness or meditation for your students, Siviwe?
No, we don't have a mindfulness, but we are thinking about it.
Okay.
mental health
Well,
program. Yeah.
yes. If
Yes.
you thinking about it, then let's have a conversation, because that's the work that I've also added to the music work that I do, is
Okay.
teaching the mindfulness and meditation, and so maybe that would be a nice tool to have for the children.
Okay. Wow. Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
All
talk.
right.
I have an idea added onto that. Hold on. Firstly, I was thinking, Laura, me and you should go and visit.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm thinking that we should chat to you, Siviwe, and maybe organize like a day or a morning or an afternoon program of mindfulness and yoga. And you can do something, and I'll give a yoga.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Oh,
So
lovely.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to see Laura next week, and then we will contact you and like find out when is a good time to come and see you and like visit, and then we can all have a meeting and do like a wellness day for your school.
Oh, wow. That would be wonderful. Sure. It can be done. And we have those big barista machines there. We will also provide coffee. So
Yay.
come.
I'm there.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantastic. Look forward to that.
Yeah, sure.
Yay, that's brilliant. Oh, very exciting. Thank you so much.